Good afternoon. I'm Robert San. From your wallet to the wider economy, join us as we follow the money. Cut expenses, build an emergency fund, fix your money mindset. That's the advice flooding every Filipino's feeds. But with inflation above 6%, high transport fares, and rising electricity bills, most people are spending nearly everything they earn. So where does personal discipline end? And where does a difficult economy take over? We follow the money with financial advisor and content creator James Fragata. Good afternoon, James, and welcome to Follow the Money.
Good afternoon, Sir Robert.
Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Now, James, let's start with this. When you preach financial content online, it preaches discipline. But behind the scenes, what do we see? It drives leads and policy sign-ups. So where does real education start and lead generation begin?
Okay. As financial planning is more of a long-term thing. So financial planning doesn't end with clients purchasing policies or insurances. So it's a long-term thing. So it's very important for financial advisors that it's continuous education for them para to make sure that as they pay for their policies, their finances are also aligned with the policies that they got so that their goals are being achieved.
As a content creator and also as a financial advisor, James, how do you build trust whenever you put out content so that those who are watching your content don't just see that you're selling them something, but actually providing them the kind of education, financial literacy without the selling point?
It's a continuous thing. So it's not just putting out one content and then suddenly one person trusts me to be their financial advisor. So it's a continuous thing. So that's the reason why I put up continuous content, consistent content, because as they see me over the years, over the months, over the weeks, they see that, this person is legit. This person knows what he is doing.
So the level of understanding, it grows and progresses because some people would say that some content creators are just there to sell and not really provide learning. So paano mo nababalance yan?
Financial planning is more of a generic term. So, syempre sa financial planning, nandito yung pag-budget, dito yung debt management, nandito yung savings. So, bawat topics or bawat aspects of finances requires different topics or requires different understanding. Not to mention, bawat individual have different situations so that they require different advices as well.
So, it doesn't happen overnight. So, James, now, if you're advising someone earning 25,000 pesos today to save first when expenses right now takes away 85% of their paycheck and sometimes they feel it's out of touch. Now, how much of modern coaching is out there that is real planning versus regurgitated self-help?
There's still 15%, sir. So what I mean is that saving, at first, I thought having a goal into savings, yun yung pinaka-importante. Pero over the years, I realized na it's not the goal that you're setting. It's more of a habit that you're doing. So for example, I have a client na ang kaya lang niya itabi is like 100 pesos per month. So that's for her emergency fund. Pero 6 months after, yung client ko na yun was able to help her daughter dun sa pregnancy niya. So that's the importance, kung bakit important yung consistent savings more than the goal itself.
So tama. So you just have to start. Hindi yung that building naman, hindi siya overnight. How do you teach that to those who don't really believe in that kind of concept?
It's more of their situation. So yung tao naman, when they experience something, so halimbawa, they feel na, masyado na ako umaasa sa credit cards. Lalo na pag nagkakaroon na emergency, kailangan na ito na magbago. So that's the reason kung ba't naiisip din nila, with the help with the contents that we put out, naiisip nila na, okay, so kailangan ko na mag-ipon. So dun din pumapasok yung importance of creating content suitable for Filipino people.
Now, going back to creating content, marami dyan, they provide the content of their learning, yung experiences nila. But there's also those who teach with what they've learned, the education, the background that they have, let's say in finance or in business. Where do you fit in here? How much of the content that you provide to those who follow you are based on your experiences and also based on the knowledge that you've learned along the way?
It's mixture. So it's mixture of theories na I've studied because of the course that I had, of the certifications I had. It's a mixture of personal experiences as well because ako, hindi naman ako yung talagang millionaire or billionaire na myself, no. So based on experience din siya and experience of the clients that I help with. So mixture of those three things, I was able to put out content na feeling ko magiging suitable for my audience.
Now, when financial coaches push yung money mindset to the followers, but usually bad financial outcomes usually stem from low wages, not really low intelligence of how they should spend or invest their money. So, isn't focusing on just mindset, just shifting the blame on yung structural talagang problem that we're having not only in the economy but in the workplace or how you spend your money, but hindi talaga mindset siya. Minsan kulang lang talaga sa pera kahit even if they really want to invest or save, it's just not there.
I agree. Especially with the macroeconomic things happening, pagtaas ng mga gas prices. But the thing is that ang hirap kasi when you're just putting your effort sa pag-raise your concerns about the economy, what's been happening right now. So as financial coaches, I feel na yung job namin is to focus on things na pwede makontrol ng mga tao na napapanood kami, tao ng mga natutulungan namin. Kasi that's where it starts eh. I'm not sure kung paano makokontrol yung mga gas prices and stuff. Pero at the very least, we can help people para matutunan kung ano yung pwede nilang gawin so that they can free up money, so that they can adapt sa kung ano yung nangyayari sa economy right now.
Now, a lot of the teachings that we get online is put your money in insurance, insure yourself, put in emergency funds. But let's say if the funds are kept in it's not liquid, how does it help a person na yun nga, daily basis ang kanyang kinakailangan, hindi liquid? Because if you put your money in insurance, you have to look at it 5-10 years.
Yeah.
If you look at emergency fund, it's supposed to be something that you can't touch, na talaga pang-emergency lang talaga.
That's true. And that's the importance of asset allocation comes in. Kasi it's a bad advice kapag sinabi mo lang sa isang tao na ilagay lahat ng pera niya sa stocks. Ilagay, o kaya bad advice na kapag sinabi mo sa isang tao na ilagay lahat lang pera niya sa MP2.
Yes.
So that's where importance of asset allocation comes in. So there's a proper percentage na dapat napupunta sa ganitong klaseng investment or let's say yung mga high-risk investments to make sure na ma-manage siya with your funds or savings na nakalagay sa mga financial instruments na madali mo makukuha kapag kinailangan mo siya.
Now, let's walk through the math. Yung mga ibang financial instruments that provide 3-4% yield, pero yung inflation is at 6%. Now, what kind of adjustments do you provide those who seek advice from you on where they can put their money para mas maliit yung downside risk nila? Because if they put it in 3-4%, but then inflation is more than that, so parang iisip nila, I'm gonna lose money in the long run.
Historically, yung mga instruments na nag-earn above annual inflation rate, these are typically the instruments na high risk, high reward, like mga stocks, equities, Pero kung dun mo lang kasi ilalagay yung pera mo, it will consider you harm then as well. It will harm you because baka kapag nalugi to, hindi mo makuha yung kailangan mo in case may emergency, may mga ganyan. So I treat it as yung mga conservative funds or yung mga nag-earn ng 3-4%, which is below annual inflation rate. These should be funds na for short-term savings, like emergency fund, kung nag-iipon ka for your new shoes, pan-travel and stuff. So dito dapat siya ilagay. Pero kung you're looking at things, like halimbawa for your retirement, kapag nag-60 ka na, so you should put it on an instrument na pwede niyang or kaya niyang matalo yung annual inflation rate.
Hindi naman maraming talagang financial instruments that they could go to stocks, they could go to other yung MP2, yung mga dividends. But yung when you talk to those who provide you advice, ano ba yung talagang kinakatakutan nila? What's the fear that they have, although they want to invest, they want to save, but then sometimes there's that fear that usually stops them from that. How do you break through that?
Usually, it's fear of losing money. Fear of losing money or hindi mo magamit yung pera kapag kinailangan.
Lahat naman tayo.
Wala siya.
Takot mawala ng pera. Oo.
Yes.
Yeah. So how do you break that?
So, it's more of preparing yourself. So, making sure na you have enough funds and yung ini-invest mo lang is something na you can afford to lose to. O kaya, it's something na hindi mo pa siya kakailanganin in the next 5, 10, even 20 years, no? Making sure na you have enough funds for this short term para kapag may nasirang phone, laptop, pag nagkasakit sa family, meron kang something na magagamit na hindi mo kailangan na i-withdraw yung isang investment na pino-foresee mo na for long term na hindi pa lumalago.
There's really more to financial literacy. You really have to dig deep, no? In terms of maraming education na kailangan na talagang pag-aralan dyan. But before you answer that, James, we'll just take a short break. We'll be right back. Up next, can financial creators give sound money advice without knowing your real financial situation? Keep following the money. Welcome back. You're still following the money with financial advisor and content creator James Fragata. Now, James, before the break, we were talking about the difference between putting out content and, of course, talking to someone face to face, like what we're doing today. Now, how do you balance that when you put out content and also being a financial advisor, and you know that KYC, knowing your customer or your client, is a key ingredient in how you can teach them and also provide advice. So what's the how do you match that difference, putting out content, yung responsibility mo, because people will sometimes follow blindly, hindi mo alam yung situation nila.
Agree. And it's very important din talaga yung context, no, given the advice or the content that you're putting out. So what they've realized na pwede makatulong sa kanila is making it bite-size. So again, financial planning is more of a general term, general topic. So putting it on a bite-size, no, halimbawa, instead of just teaching people kung paano i-manage yung debt nila, isa-isahin mo siya. So parang paano ba i-organize yung debt nila? Paano ba nila ito babayaran ng isa-isa? Paano ba nila ito ilalagay sa isang bank, no, to make sure na consolidated yung debts nila? So isa-isa siya, and yun naman din yung good thing with the content creation right now or the algorithm, no. Yung social media platforms, it rewards yung mga short form,
mga 30 seconds up to a 1 minute mga reels. It's like a hack. But then, hindi ba na-oversimplify yung, let's say, yung advice, your tips, and nawawala minsan yung greater context, and sometimes, you try to oversimplify it, and yet it doesn't come across right to those who are watching?
Agree. And you know what, yung financial planning kasi, no, before, yung mga tao, money is a taboo for them. Kasi akala nila, financial planning or wealth building, no, it's more of parang complicated thing. Pero when you siguro dun papasok yung trabaho namin as a content creator, to oversimplify it. Kasi when you simplify something, sasabihin ng isang tao na, simple lang pala. It's not as complicated as it is, no. So mas papakinggan nila to and mas gagawin nila.
So there's two schools of thought. Sometimes really simplifying it is good, but but sometimes some people saying oversimplifying it, parang nawawala yung essence ng, let's say, what you're trying to teach them.
Agree.
So how do you balance that? Kasi minsan iisip nila, because, as a content creator, people who watch you think, gusto lang niya na kumita kasi yung views, right? Are they really there to really help us or not? And it's a very crowded space, content creation, especially in financial literacy?
When it comes to that, no, syempre, when someone is watching me, maybe miles away from me, hindi ko siya mo-control or hindi ko alam kung ano yung situation niya right now. So, doon papasok yung importance ng pagpo-put out ng content. And good thing, halimbawa, with the, let's say, with some social media platform right now,
Yes.
they allow us to comment through a video. So, we'll answer yung question na yun through a video to explain more context, to make sure na kung ano yung tinatanong niya, masagot namin na mas wholesome as compared the i-answer lang namin in one comment na maybe mali pala yung context na sinasabi namin or hindi namin alam yung context na sinasabi niya.
Yes, kasi marami mga coaches dyan that we see online,
Yes.
money coaches, motivators, financial literacy coaches, like people see anyone with a phone
Yes.
can just put out online. But what kind of standards do you follow? Especially like in media, there's certain journalism ethics that we have to follow.
Yeah.
But then when you put out content, especially when it talks about money and people's lives, what kind of standards do you follow?
Agree. So nowadays kasi, hindi siya katulad before social media age kung saan a person needs to pay something so that para lang siya matuto ng
Yes.
advice na hinahanap mo. So dito din papasok yung doing your own research. Making sure na matching kung ano yung nakikita mong advice and doing your own research kung tama ba yung binibigay niya na advice. And good thing nowadays, no, aside from the internet, there's AI right now in making sure na nako-consolidate yung mga proper sources para mabangga mo kung tama ba yung advice na yun.
Kumbaga, don't take it as legit right away. Kahit na
Yes.
sabihin natin sobrang daming followers ng
Yeah.
isang content creator. Kasi minsan sinasabi nila, nabibili rin yung followers.
Yes.
Or you can boost your videos and all that. So you, as a content creator, but also a financial advisor who's backed with a company, that you also have to have that certain standards.
Yes.
Because you're also a face of that particular company. So how do you, let's say, safeguard that para the credibility you're trying to build online and offline, hindi ka agad masisira ng isang content na bigla na lang mali?
That's where proper researching before doing my own content comes in. Kasi putting up your content, no, kapag na-put up mo na siya, madaming nakanood, in a way, parang wala ka ng control doon. So making sure na yung topics that you have is aligned with the branding that you have, with the ethics that you have, with financial regulations that there is, so that when you put it out, it is legit, it is a right content, no, to make sure na walang madadamage or ma-harm whatsoever.
Now, in the community that you've built, more than 500,000 followers on Facebook, ano yung pinaka-common na problems that a lot of the people seek for help, advice? Ano yung mga hinahanap nilang tulong in terms of how they can better their finances, build their wealth?
You know, sir, it's funny, no? Kasi even if we're in the information age na right now, pero madami pa din nagtatanong kung saan ba dapat mag-invest.
Yun.
So kahit ang dami ng lumalabas na investments ngayon, ang dami ng platforms right now, pero in a way, no, para nagiging double-edged sword siya. Kasi yung mga tao, sa sobrang daming information, hindi nila alam saan mag-i-invest.
Parang they get stuck because parang
Yes.
over-analyzing, ang daming napapanood ng mga coaches, ang daming napapanood. So when they ask you that, what do you tell them?
First is, as much as possible, before I give an immediate answer, no, I try my best to understand kung ano yung context, kung saan sila nanggagaling. Kasi bawat tao may iba't ibang financial situation. So when they message me, maybe I'll try to meet with them, maybe I'll try to ask more questions about it. And then from there, tsaka ko binibigay yung advice ko sa kanila.
Now, as a content creator, do you also have do you look up to a mentor? What was the best financial advice or worst financial advice that you were given? Let's start with the best.
With the best, I believe na yung magsipag kaysa magtipid lang.
Then
That's
the
the
worst
best one.
financial advice that you had,
The worst one...
maybe you followed, but then you learned from it.
The worst one is The worst one is putting your eggs in too many baskets kapag nagsisimula ka pa lang.
Too many baskets. But usually they said don't put your eggs in one basket.
I agree.
Ngayon, sinasabi mo, don't diversify too much.
Yes.
Is there a limit on the diversification, allocation of the funds that you have?
Well, diversification is generally a good advice. There's this thing then as over-diversification. Kasi parang lang yan parang naglalagay ka ng tubig sa madaming baso, tapos isa lang yung bote mo ng tubig. Kapag nilagay mo siya sa masyado madaming baso, masyado lang maliliit yung bawat tubig. So, halimbawa sa investments, kahit na nag-earn to ng 10%, 11%, pero kung masyado lang maliit yung capital na nilagay mo doon, magkano lang yung earn nun?
For you, which is worse? Putting it all in one basket or over-diversifying?
For me, based on experience, it's over-diversifying.
Did that happen to you? Was that experience that you saw or you learned from someone that they did that you thought, tama nga, no? It's worse to do this?
Yeah, kasi nung sa simula pa lang ako, I tried to apply yung diversification. So I put it in many instruments, no, yung conservative, aggressive, etc. And then parang napapansin ko, walang nangyayari at all. So what I did, no, to revise it is mas pinaliit ko yung mga baskets that I have. I still diversify, but I make sure na kapag umangat yung isang investment or financial instrument, mararamdaman ko na siya.
Now, when we talk about also budgeting, marami yan, a lot of content creators talk about how to budget, but you can only cut expenses so much and you can budget only so much. So where's that middle ground when your followers are asking for your advice? Saan ba talagang emergency fund ba? Insurance ba? Ano ba? Because you say, nabanggit mo, nalilito talaga sila.
Yes.
With all the information that's there, minsan nag-overanalyze sila. It's too much information for them to really grasp.
For that one, again, I try to assess kung nasaan ba sila right now. No? Kasi tama nga, no, with the rising of the expenses right now, parang mas challenging mag-invest ngayon compared dati.
Kasi crisis mode rin tayo ngayon.
Crisis mode din tayo right now. So it's making sure it's looking properly on the current finances that you have, no. Tapos making sure na meron pa ba akong i-invest? Meron pa ba akong kayang i-invest? Or kailangan ko na mag-focus more sa increase ko muna yung income ko, tsaka ako mag-invest.
So wala talagang cookie cutter type of let's say you budget this much, this much, this much. It really depends sa mga nakakausap mo. Iba-iba yan. Like, minsan, kausap mo, individual lang. Minsan, kausap mo, breadwinner na has a family to provide or a family that has 3 kids. So, it really depends yung the way you approach providing advice to them.
Yes.
Iba-iba yan.
Kasi may mga nakakausap din po ako na minimum wage earner, pero they're happy with what they have right now. So, sobrang frugal talaga nila, no? There are also people na times 2, times 5 yung kinikita niya, more than the minimum wage earner, pero kulang talaga yung kinikita niya.
Tama. Minsan sinasabi na kahit 1 million ang kinikita mo, pero ginagastos mo 1 million and 1 peso.
Yes.
Masama. Okay, anyway, James, we'll move on to our rapid fire segment of the program. Quick questions, quick answers only. Let's start with this. What is the most mathematically out of touch personal finance rule today that you've heard?
Mathematically impossible right now. It's the FIRE. It's focusing more on the retirement, the financial independence, retire early.
Really? Why?
Because right now, I'm not seeing it as a viable option. Kasi it requires parang computing yung proper expenses so that making sure sustainable yung early retirement mo.
May mga iba nagre-retire na maaga.
Yes.
May nakita. You think that's not something that generally people should focus on?
I'm not sure. Di ko pa na-encounter kung how sustainable it is.
Okay, true or false? Buying insurance before an emergency fund is a mistake.
False.
Why?
Because I think there's a way na kaya mo siyang pagsabayan.
Do you think an insurance is also an emergency fund?
For long term.
For long term, okay. What percentage of online financial content is just lead generation?
Right now, I can say 80%.
80%?
Yeah.
Malaki, malaki. But yun nga, how do you balance that? Kasi pag nakikita ng mga viewers mo, Pang lead generation lang, gusto ba talaga akong turuan nito?
Well, it's it's how you help the person. So at the end of the day, we're exchanging services for the money.
So pag may trust,
dumadating
sa akin.
Dumadating.
Okay, and a 6% plus inflation, pay off low interest debt or keep liquid cash?
Keep liquid cash.
Cash is king. Okay. Complete the sentence, James. A money coach who won't reveal their own net worth
Won't reveal their own net worth is either a fad or they're just too private on where they got their money.
Can you reveal your net worth?
It's not on a million net.
Huh?
It's not on a million net.
Pero getting there.
Getting there, of
Okay.
course.
And finally, James, if you could eliminate one financial myth actively trapping middle-class Filipinos today in cash flow stress, what would it be and what hard truth replaces it?
Focusing only on budgeting.
Talagang kailangan, what else besides budgeting? Anong kailangan talaga nilang pag-aralan?
They need to expand their skills depending on what industry they're in to make sure na they're getting yung income that rightfully is theirs.
Education talaga is key. Talaga.
Yes.
On that note, James, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon, sharing your insights, your advice, your experiences, and also, it's good to know that there's a lot of content creators like you out there who really genuinely want to help people build their wealth and just learn about how to budget and how to maximize what they earn on a daily basis. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
And that's all for today. I'm Robert San. Thanks for watching. Keep it here on the Bilyonaryo News Channel, and always follow the money.